Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another tea time with Tia. I know it's super early, but I just wanted to sit down in front of the camera to talk about the brand new WandaVision trailer that was just released. I woke up to a bunch of people texting me saying, "Have you watched the trailer?" And I didn't even know that there was a trailer that was going to be coming out for WandaVision. So that is always a very nice surprise. But before I go any further with this video, I do have to say that we do have an affiliate code with the coldest water bottle. I don't know if you guys can see that, but if you can, the link will be down below. Make sure you get yourself a bottle since even though the summer is ending, it's still good to stay hydrated. I am just so super pumped about WandaVision, even though, gosh, you can't see that in this, but I'm wearing my Loki shirt. So I am very excited, obviously, for the Loki series as well. But WandaVision seems to be the only Marvel show that we'll be getting on Disney Plus this year, just because of everything that's going on. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is still filming, so who knows if that's going to finish filming and editing and all that good stuff before 2020 ends. But at least we have WandaVision. WandaVision is one of those shows that when they first announced it, I really wasn't all that excited for it, and I really disliked the name. I still kind of really dislike the name, but the more that comes out about the show, the more excited I am. So let's just dive right into the trailer talk, right? So we got a trailer, it's around a minute and like 20 seconds. I guess you can kind of say that's more so of a teaser than anything else, but it's certainly more than we got at that Super Bowl like 30-second ad that had WandaVision, Loki, and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier footage. So obviously, it starts off with it being very old timey, feels a lot like I Love Lucy, with Wanda and Vision entertaining. And obviously, one of the it's it has to be this like suspension of belief sort of thing, because in that opening scene you have where they're talking to these two people, one of them being the mother from that 70s show, and the one guy there is demanding to know how the two of them met, and he's slamming the table, which is clearly just not something that you would do, so you already can tell that that's not real. And you see Wanda kind of like um, just staring at that. And then once that happens, it's like the two of them, Vision and Wanda, are kicked out of that little sequence and into reality, where they're obviously very confused that the two of them are in this sort of like sitcom-y sort of world. It's very strange. But and then you just see this kind of like um it, I don't know how to describe it. It's just like a flash of scenes that is going to be showing what we're going to see on the series. Vision has like like Vision and Wanda both have like their comic book accurate costumes in here, but they're clearly like the Halloween version, very low budget, so clearly going to play something like that. But it's very interesting because obviously in Avengers Infinity War, Vision was killed. So, how does this all happen? We were wondering that how Wanda had was going to have this sort of show with Vision, considering Vision is dead. And it was very interesting because in the trailer, you have this one woman who is kind of looking as if she's like dead staring in her car, and Vision goes and like touches her and clearly does something, and the woman says, "Oh, am I dead?" And he goes, "No, why would you say that?" She's like, "Because you are." So where is Vision right now? Where does this whole world even exist? It's very unusual. um I have a feeling that Wanda is going to break this show. A lot of people have been surmising that this whole thing is going to turn into a House of M sort of storyline, and it's going to lead into Doctor Strange 2, the Multiverse of Madness, and I can certainly see that happening in this because we see Vision and Wanda are being in the opening sequence are being pressed about, when are they going to have children? And if you know anything about the comic book storyline, the House of M, Wanda does have these children during a time where she kind of mentally breaks because Vision died. So it seems, and then we have seen in the state pictures and then the former teaser from the Super Bowl that Wanda and Vision were holding babies. So they are clearly going in that direction. It's going to be super interesting because I'm not sure if anyone thought that the House of M would be a storyline that the MCU would have explored because we love Wanda. And I don't think they really teased at any point that Wanda would be going in that direction, but it's certainly a great place to explore when you're talking about these Disney Plus shows. I loved it. One of my friends saw the trailer and she was like, WTF is that? But for me, I love the wackiness about it. I mean, I'm a huge fan of The Boys and Doom Patrol. So the fact that Marvel is looking to get that weird, considering they really have never gotten that weird. I mean, obviously you have Doctor Strange, and it's gotten a little strange in that movie, but never has it gotten weird. And the fact that you have Wanda and Vision in this whole like fantasy sort of world where they're playing these like sitcom characters because perhaps Wanda is mentally breaking, to me is just super interesting, as bad as that sounds. Because, but the interesting thing is like what caused, we all know what caused Wanda to do this. Obviously the death of Vision in Infinity War was a lot for her, but she got back in the final battle in Endgame and seemed relatively even keel when she was speaking with Clint at the end of Endgame. So is it now that the world is saved and there's time that she's thinking about Vision? Maybe she's thinking. I swear the MCU loves to think that Quicksilver doesn't even exist, but I'm going to say that, if I was Wanda in the past few, first of all, if the love of my life dies and then you disappear and 5 years later you just reappear and you have a battle to go fight, you're not really thinking about the trauma that the death of the love of your life left in its wake. And only a few years prior, your twin brother, who you can say is kind of like her first love, dies. I just feel like that's a lot on Wanda mentally, and now that the Avengers have all kind of gone their separate ways, I feel like this is finally time for Wanda to really be thinking about all that, and it's probably too much, honestly. So, sorry, my cat is eating. Monkey! Sorry. My cat was eating my dog's food because she decides that she likes to walk away, but she doesn't realize that the cats are hungry, hungry hippos that will eat anything that's in front of them. I'm sorry. You don't need to know all that. Anyway, my point is that I thought the trailer looked really cool. I thought that Marvel decided to go in a direction that they haven't yet. I haven't looked online to see the reactions for the trailer. I wanted to get my own personal opinions out there first. I am sure that people will have something to say. Everyone loves to say their 2 cents. They'll say that they don't get it, X, Y, and Z. But the problem is, a lot of people love to say that Marvel has one sort of style and that's it. So now that it looks like Marvel is trying to break away from that style, I am sure that people will have something to say. But as far as I go, I think WandaVision looks great. as I said, once I heard the concept for WandaVision and I saw the little teaser that was in that Super Bowl ad way back when, before we all had to freaking quarantine, I thought that it looked really good. I was pumped for it. So when I woke up this morning and I saw all these text messages about, oh my god, the freaking WandaVision trailer, I was like, yes, let's go see it. And I am not disappointed. I wish obviously that I saw more just because there's so much to unwrap in this. I mean, but I don't even know what sort of expectations I go into this show with. It clearly just looks wacky. They look like they are. See, that's the thing is that we've never really seen Wanda and Vision on their own. A lot of other heroes in the MCU have had their own solo films, so we see what they're doing outside of everyone else. But when it comes to um, Wanda and Vision, they're always just in these ensemble movies, so we just see really glimpses of them throughout the MCU. But WandaVision is now them on their own, and with Vision dead, and it seems like that they're holding true to that. I mean, where is Wanda right now? Where does Vision exist in Wanda's head? Um, and is it that she is like, to me, it almost reminds me of, because it looks like Wanda is trying to do this whole little like suburban life with Vision, trying to explore what that would have been like if they had been allowed to have it. And it reminded me a little of that very small scene in 2016 Suicide Squad where Harley Quinn imagined a domesticated life with the Joker. And it reminded me a little of that, where Wanda was trying to imagine what this domesticated life would be with Vision, and maybe she's going through the different sort of sitcoms through the era, because that's a huge thing in sitcoms, especially during, say, the 90s and the 80s, were sitcoms about a couple and their life, and that looks like maybe what they're trying to do there. We saw, as I said earlier, Wanda and Vision were in their comic book accurate costumes that obviously look like cheap Halloween knockoffs. And maybe this is at the time where they have their children and they're supposed to be going trick or treating with them or something. I don't know. I just know that looks good. I loved how it started because you were just sitting there watching the screen like, what the hell am I watching? And I'm excited for that because, as I said, I love Doom Patrol, and Doom Patrol often has me going, what the hell am I watching? So maybe if you're not into Strange like that, you won't enjoy it, but for me, I just think it looks great. It's so out of the like ball field for what Marvel does, and that's exciting because again, Marvel, like, I love Marvel. I'm an MCU person. Um, but I will admit that Marvel does sort of have their own sort of tone, which, I mean, again, if it works for you, it works for you. I'm not hating on them for it. But really, the only sort of changes in that tone that we have gotten is A, with the Winter Soldier. It looks like we're getting that with Black Widow. The Marvel Netflix shows were much darker, obviously, than the Marvel movies. So now we have WandaVision that looks like it's straying away from that typical Marvel tone, and I'm all for it here. Let's get really weird. That way, by the time we have Doctor Strange 2, the Multiverse of Madness, which Wanda has been confirmed to be in, we're gonna get really freaking weird, and I'm really freaking excited about this. So, I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot much else to say. I've been going on for now 14 minutes of just saying how excited I am. I still, after watching the trailer, do not know what the plot really is of the show, but that's perfectly okay to me. I just know that it looks like they're trying to explore a little bit of a House of M sort of storyline and just being weird, and that's cool. And I'm sorry, I remember even from Avengers Age of Ultron, when Vision carried Wanda away. And I walked out of that movie theater going, oh, are they going to try and get Vision and Wanda together how they are in the comics? And I'm very happy that they really went down that route. And I was extremely sad when Vision was killed in Infinity War. So just seeing Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen working together again, even if this is some sort of like fake reality and we find out that Vision isn't alive still, or he is an android. Maybe his mind exists somewhere else. I don't know. I'm just happy to see Paul Bettany back, and I'm happy to see Elizabeth Olsen acting alongside with him. And considering how the MCU has really been driving home the fact, and it is a fact, has been driving home the fact that Wanda is probably one of the most powerful Avengers, I'm here for it. So please let me know what you thought about the WandaVision trailer, our first official trailer for the upcoming Disney Plus series. We do not have a release date yet, but considering they just released a trailer and WandaVision was part of their 2020 teaser trailer of content that's coming out, we're clearly getting it this year, which thank God we're finally getting a Marvel Disney Plus series, even though, I mean, listen, with COVID hitting, you just have to accept that things are going to get pushed off, even though I shudder at the idea of Black Widow getting pushed off until 2021, but I am prepared for that news. Anyway, my whole point is please let me know what you thought about the WandaVision trailer. I want to know. I want to see if you are as excited as I am for it, and what you think. I mean, what suggestions do you have? I'm not the biggest comic book reader. I'm obviously a huge fan of the movies and the TV shows, but there's a lot about the comic books I don't know. So if you have any sort of information that you want to pass along to me, you can see me on Twitter and Instagram, Geek5sNation, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram as well at TiaFabi. So yeah, this is another Tea Time at Tia. It's always fun doing these, and I will see you guys later. Bye! Let's stop recording.